Okay, so for the first time ever, I'm going to share with you the schematic of exactly how to break down a $9,000 deal that I'm actually working on right now. So this is an amazing cash flow opportunity. I can't wait to dive in, because in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what the opportunity is, why it makes so much cash flow, and why I believe everybody should be in this business. So I have a lot to cover in a very short period of time. So let's get into it. So I've done videos about this before where I talk about using real estate as leverage to be able to make massive amounts of money and cash flow. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the $9,000 a month deal that I'm currently working on right now, how I break it down, and how this kind of opportunity is pretty much available for anybody who wants to explore it and who wants to dive right in. So here's the property that I'm looking at. It's a 10-bedroom property, which is pretty phenomenal and amazing. So the reason I work on houses, ideally these houses will have 4 bedrooms or more. Lately, I've been focusing in on properties or houses that have 5, 6, or more bedrooms. It's very rare that you'll find a 10-bedroom house that's not a mansion, because we don't want a mansion. Mansions have a lot of space in between, and a lot of times mansions will have, even though they will have maybe 14 bedrooms or 18 bedrooms, the problem is the square footage is so large, and you're dealing with 10,000 plus square feet, and you really don't want all of that maintenance responsibility, which I'm going to get into shortly. So let me share with you this 10-bedroom house deal I'm working on. It's about $400,000 is what they want. So as you know, 20% down on that is going to be roughly $80,000, and that's a lot of money. I'm going to share with you kind of like a backdoor way of being able to get these properties without spending that kind of money. I'll get into that in a minute, okay? That's my trick up my sleeve, if you will. So let's talk about the money part and why these properties can make so much money. And it's because I invest in what's called roommate or shared housing. So nowadays, what's happening right now is that people are having a harder time, especially Generation Z and some of your younger millennials. They're having a hard time, what we call a failure to launch, because of how expensive things are. And so they're not able to leave their parents, or they have to leave their parents because their parents themselves are downsizing due to this atrocious economy that we're entering into. And they just can't afford to have their kids move back in, especially if the parents are moving into a 1-bedroom, right? So what's happening is that there's a massive, I guess you could say, trend when it comes to roommate housing. And then stepping it up even more, for certain circumstances, we deal with something called shared housing, where there's 2 people per bedroom. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Let's just focus on roommate housing, which is 1 person per bedroom. So this 10-bedroom home can obviously have up to 10 people in it as roommates if we're using the roommate strategy. In this particular area of the country where I'm investing, each bedroom itself will rent for about $900. Now, that doesn't include the main suite that would have its own bathroom. Those usually go for a little more, like around $1,000 or $1,100 per bedroom, because they have their own bathroom. But the rest of the rooms will go for around $900 each in the area that I'm investing. Or we can do something called shared housing, where we basically cut the rooms in half, and the rooms can go on average for about $450 to up to $475 when 2 people share the room. And so why would people want to share a room? Well, first of all, it's affordability, but it's the who that we focus on for shared housing. So a lot of these people that we focus on, now back in the day, and I'm talking like a year or 2 years ago, I used to focus on something called local Section 8. It's not federal Section 8, it's local Section 8, which is different, where you go with grassroots organizations, even some of them are government contracts on the local level, where they'll pay for, say, for example, post-incarceration drug and alcohol treatment patients to, they'll spend around $1,400 a month, upwards of that, for each person that's going into your home. Now, obviously, a lot of those programs dried up, especially with the current administration. So it would start off that these types of funds would come from the federal level. They would go down to the state level. The state would then give these funds to different counties that would have the highest drug and alcohol problem as far as needing I guess you could say, post-rehab housing. Now, a lot of you are like, I don't want to deal with post-rehab housing. Well, the good news is you don't have to, okay? Because the funding is dried up for that anyway, so it's not like that's even an option. So we ourselves had to pivot from that to focusing in on people that were post-incarceration or post-drug and alcohol that are cash pay. And they'll still do shared housing, but it's a lot less than obviously getting $1,400 a head. You're getting around $450, upwards of maybe $500 a head, depending on where you are. So the way this would work is that, say, for example, you have somebody in a halfway house. They just got out of prison maybe. They maybe burned all their bridges with their friends and family, or they don't even have any friends and family because maybe they're being paroled or off in probation in a different county and they're not even from there. And so they'll finish their halfway house, but then a lot of times they have no place to go after the halfway house. Now, they all have to have jobs to be able to pay their bills before they're even released from the halfway house. And the thing is that they have a job, they just can't afford a studio apartment or their own apartment on their own because they're just not making that much money. And so fast forward to now, the area that we've pivoted into, whereas we would actually provide shared housing for these individuals who are starting to get a new leaf on their life and they just are looking for a place to live and they don't have any other place to go other than homelessness and living under a bridge. And so we provide shared housing for those people as a cash pay basis. And so, for example, my 10-bedroom house deal that I'm working on now, I can either rent out each room to a roommate, which would be just regular people just looking for a single room for about $900 a piece. Or what I could do is I can rent them out as shared housing for $450 a piece, still making $900 a room. Now, obviously, if I don't want to deal with the riffraff of the shared housing, then I would probably just go with the roommates and get $900 per room. So there's 10 rooms. That's $9,000 gross per month. Okay, it's a pretty good deal. Now, mind you, the mortgage on this is going to be about $2,000 a month. Plus, there's going to be taxes and insurance, and of course, we have to cover the utilities. And so we're around about $3,500 a month. I would say $3,000, but if you want to be safe, it's going to be $3,500, which leaves us with about $5,500 a month. Now, mind you, there might be extra expenses or whatever, so the very conservative figure would be $5,000 a month for this house. Cash, okay? Cash in our pocket after all expenses are paid, including the mortgage. Like, how great is that? Now, you're probably thinking, well, Monica, that sounds fantastic, but how do we get the $80,000 down payment? Well, the good news is if you don't already have a corporation set up, I strongly urge you to get yourself a corporation or an LLC with an EIN number, which stands for Employer Identification Number. It's essentially the Social Security number for your corporate entity. And what you can do is you can start gaining access to business credit, provided that you've been listening to all my videos on my channel and you boosted up that FICO score. If you can get your FICO score over 720, mid-FICO, even better over 750, then you can access virtually unlimited amounts of unsecured business credit. The easiest business credit to get is unsecured business credit cards. Like, for example, Chase Inc. will offer you upwards of $50,000 unsecured cash, even with a brand spanking new business. And it's a 0% APR for about 12 months right now is what they're offering. So you can literally take that $50,000 off the card. You could also get another couple other business credit cards. Like, for example, if you don't already have a Navy Federal Credit Union account, I strongly urge you to get one. I did another video about how easy it is for you to go online and get a Navy Federal Credit Union savings account. Once you get a savings account open up your business checking account over there and then apply for an unsecured business checking or business credit card. They'll give you up to $25,000 at Navy Federal. So that's another $25,000. So that's $75,000 already. This is what we call credit stacking, by the way. And then you can get one or two other business credit cards. You can get, for example, I already talked about Chase Inc., which is one of my favorites. You can get Citibank. Citibank will offer you anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000. You can get, Bank of America, U.S. Bank. You can get all these different unsecured business credit cards, do what we call credit stacking, and raise the funds to be able to get that down payment money. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do I get the money off the credit cards? Well, if you don't already have your own merchant service to pull the money off, then you can do invoicing with a company like, for example, freshharvest.com or I'm sorry, it's I'll put the link down, but it's one of my favorites is freshbooks.com. And you can actually get the money off through invoicing basically yourself. And then that's how you can actually get the money off of your credit cards and put it into your checking account so that you can actually use it for the purposes of building wealth. Now, I recommend that you go with the 0% APR program, so then that way you're only paying your bare minimum credit card payment every month, and then you can basically borrow that money interest-free for the whole year or 6 months or whatever the interest-free period is, and then start getting the cash flow coming in from your properties, and then pay all of that money off of those credit cards before your very first interest payment is going to be due. That's the ideal route to take. Now, if you don't want to put $80,000 into it, then what you're going to be looking for are houses that have been sitting on the market that are empty for a while. So say, for example, you go to Zillow.com, you look in your area, you find like, say, 5 houses that are 4-bedroom or more, and they're empty, and all the photos are empty, and it's been sitting on the market for, say maybe not 90 days or more, even better, 6 months or longer. And it's empty in the pictures, which means that somebody's paying holding costs for that, which means somebody's paying a mortgage, somebody's paying insurance, somebody's paying utilities, somebody's paying taxes. So that's what we call holding costs, and somebody's paying for all of that, which means they're probably living somewhere else paying for that as well as paying for this other house, and the affordability for most people is going down the tubes, and so they probably are really desperate to get rid of the house. This is when we can enter into a subject to opportunity, whereas we can actually essentially take over their mortgage, and usually there's a buy-in anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to buy into the deal. Again, that's where your business credit comes in, where you can easily get $10,000 off one of the cards that I had mentioned to you. Even that Chase Ink card that maybe just gave you 50 grand, you just take 10,000 off of it instead of the whole 50, and you're in business. And so you can essentially get that house for a lot less in interest, because you won't have to pay the current interest rates on a new mortgage today. You can literally enjoy the interest rates from, 5-10 years ago, whenever they originally purchased their home. And so subject to is becoming much more popular because there's so much inventory that's been sitting on the market that's just basically rotting away. There's even more inventory being added every single month, and people are starting to get freaked out, especially people that are paying on another house that they're living in currently now, plus paying on the house that's been sitting on the market empty on Zillow and all those other MLS websites. And so you could take full advantage. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Monica, I don't know if I can approach somebody about a subject to. Well, the good news is you're not approaching the owner about a subject to. You're approaching the listing agent about a subject to. And what you're doing is you're guaranteeing that that listing agent will be getting their commission, because you will be paying their commission. Yes, you're going to say to the listing agent, who's probably already starving as is, you're going to basically say, do you think the owners of this property, knowing that it's been sitting on the market for 6 months or longer, do you think they would be interested in doing a creative financing deal? And before you finish the sentence, you say, and would you be willing to present this to them, even though would you be willing to present this to them, even though I know that I'm going to be guaranteeing your commission? And what'll happen is they'll hear the commission part, and they'll be like, oh, you're going to guarantee my commission? Oh, that's pretty cool. So I will be willing to broach this with them, because the alternative is that the agent gets no commission because the property's not selling. Do you see what I mean? And so the person who's going to be broaching this idea of the subject to is going to be the agent, the listing agent on the property. It's not going to be you at all. You're not going to be communicating with the property owner at all. And the listing agent's going to work for his or her money, because you're going to make sure that they get the commission off the deal, because you're going to pay it with your business credit, right? Remember, you're getting really low interest on this. And these subject to deals are much more popular than ever now. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't know if this is legal, or some listing agents might actually say it's not legal. Well, guess what? On a HUD-1 form, a federal government form that is provided for the sale of every house across America that's ever happened and that will happen, actually has a place on there that says subject to. Hello, if this was illegal, it wouldn't actually say subject to on a HUD-1, which is the closing statement that everybody receives when they purchase a property. So it is legal. It's, and you need to remind the real estate agent that. It's like, you did get your license, right? And then they might be like, what do you mean? It's like, well, on every HUD-1, it actually says subject to. You're aware of that, correct? and then they would just stop. And that's usually what I have to say to basically sell them on the idea that subject to is actually legal because it's on every HUD 1, okay? The federal government knows it's legal. Hello? So this is how you can actually get these kinds of houses hands over fist to be able to profit from and to profit with this new pivoting market called roommate and shared housing, which is so much more profitable than obviously taking a rental and renting it to Sally Housewife and Joe Blow, because trying to take a rental, even an apartment building with, say, 16 units, it's very difficult to be able to make those work anymore when you're renting them out to one family per unit or one family per house. I mean, it's just not, with the interest rates the way they are today, it's just not affordable to be an investor unless you're putting like 50% down on a property to be able to make those kinds of properties cash flow in today's day and age. So this is literally the only way that you're going to be able to make a lot of money with, any kind of cash flowing real estate as we are now, until our interest rates fall, and of course until the housing market actually falls apart as well, which, believe it or not, I'm actually hoping happens sooner than later, so then that way I can get more better deals on real estate properties rather than, waiting another minute for stuff to fall, because I'm just like you. If I'm an investor, I want a better deal. But in the interim and in the meantime, you can still do this highly profitable strategy and still make a lot of money doing it, hand over fist. So if you want my free 2-day training, normally I charge for this, but if you want it for free, you can go to school.com/Monica Main, go to the classroom tab once you're admitted into the group, and you will be looking for my free 2-day crash course on this roommate strategy, also using subject to be able to get and acquire these properties for much less than you ever thought possible, okay? Also, while you're there at school.com/Monica Main, make sure you get my Credit Millionaire book. I'll be taking it down soon. That's also in the classroom tab as well. Look for Credit Millionaire. The reason I'm taking that down soon is because I just released Credit Millionaire 2.0, which is now available on Amazon. It's available as Kindle as well as an Audible. This is probably the most hardcore legal book you'll ever read on exactly how to get out of debt personally, how to be able to fix and rebuild your credit as quickly as possible in a way that nobody's ever explained it before. Plus, you'll also learn exactly the credit stack attack and the other unsecured business credit strategies that I have for you, and how you can actually use a corporate entity with an EIN to build credit, even a brand spanking new one, to be able to access even over $100,000 in unsecured credit right away, to be able to use to start a business, to invest in real estate, whatever the case may be. And this will share with you exactly what my strategies are as far as using OPM or other people's money to take advantage of investing in other enterprises and other cash flowing opportunities that you would otherwise not have access to should you not have any cash, which most of you don't have a cash, but you can get credit if you know the game and how to play it. So Credit Millionaire 2.0, now available on Amazon. If you found that this content was helpful and useful, give me a nice thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, drop some comments down below. But don't forget to go to my school.com/Monica Main account to be able to get into the classroom to get that 2-day free training as well as the Credit Millionaire book before it disappears forever. This is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.